Michigan loses 51-45 to TCU in one of the most unsettling, unexpected, and unbelievable games in the history of this Michigan football program. I equate it to my emotions like losing to Appalachian State or something like that, although not necessarily the upset magnitude, but I could not find myself a way in my brain that TCU could beat Michigan, and they probably didn't play as well as Michigan, honestly. They had 2 pick-six touchdowns for 13 points, missed an extra point. Michigan had the ball inside the 2 twice and didn't get any points out of it. So there's a 27-point swing there that Michigan could have potentially won this game that they lost by 6. But let me know what your one-word reaction is to Michigan's 51-45 loss to TCU. The Horned Frogs, they do this little thing. I see Megan Payton on there. You see her with her dad at the game. I just wanted to tweet at her, yeah, Megan, whatever. But her brother goes to TCU. One-word reaction to this 51-45 loss. Let me know down in the comments, or if you're watching right after the show or after the game in the YouTube live show. I got Micro Mike on there, Lions Talk by Chat Sports, saying, Cheeks! That's a great Mike. That is absolutely apt. That is the absolute definition of what we just saw there from this Michigan football team. If you were on the live chat, sheesh, yikes, terrible from Bill. BJH Blitz says typical, fire Harbaugh. Next year we'll win it. We will do it from Zaire, I guess. But this one hurts a lot. So I like this one from Big Stevie. We're the Oklahoma of the North. Straight, soft, no arguments there. Let's take a look at the stats and the final scoreboard. Michigan loses 51-45. J.J. McCarthy, 20 of 34, 343, 2 touchdowns with 2 devastating interceptions. He went from 3 on the year to 2 more in this game, 5 in the season, 2 pick sixes. Diamond Edwards, 23 carries, 119. 53 of those, though, in the first carry of the game. And Ronnie Bell and Roman Wilson, though, both had over 100 yards. Touchdown for each from catching. And then Roman Wilson did have 1 rushing. Max Duggan didn't play a great game. 225, less than 50% passing. 2 touchdowns, also 2 picks. But Emari Demercado, whatever his name is, 150 in a backup role. And then Quentin Johnson, 163. All the things I said Michigan needed to do to win this game, they did. Almost none of them. Jack, I don't know if we have it. I'm gonna look at my my screen. I want to kind of take a look at my my 5 keys to the game from Michigan at some point. Do we have those from the other game? Oh, cool. If you have them, toss those up on the screen here in a moment. I'll tell you guys what my 5 keys to the game were coming into this game as Michigan loses 51-45. All right, now number 1 takeaway though is failures. Failures really were the storyline here today. Offense in the first half. Defense in the second half, right? The offense was inside the 2-yard line. I think their first 3 drives, and in between there had a pick 6 to TCU. Went down 21-3 early, and then from there they got a field goal late in the game. But the offense really struggled in the first half. Defense absolutely fell apart in the second half, giving up 30 points to TCU. Now, Michigan scored 39 points themselves in the second half, but nevertheless, it was too little, too late. Let me know, though, guys. Just comment. Let me know your thoughts on this team, this season, but more importantly, this game. I think Michigan's football is in a good place, but, man, this is such a devastating loss. I think I just worked up so many things in my brain. I was excited about going this trip to L.A., national title, beating Georgia, beating Ohio State again, and nothing that happens now, unless TCU wins the national championship, maybe I would feel like 2% okay, but nothing makes me feel better, and I think it's going to be a long off season when this should be a celebrated season, which it always will be because it's one of my favorite seasons of all time. But it is what it is. Let me know your comments. Jack, we have those 5 takeaways. Do we have them? Cool. Offensive game plan. So no, I'm talking about. Do we have the 5? I had my 5 going into the game. My things Michigan needs to do. Probably not. That's what I thought. Okay. No. Okay. Cool. Sorry. All good. I want to look at those. I've got them somewhere in here. I want to. I'm going to look at my preview as we are videoing this. We are recording this live, but nevertheless, I'm going to pull up these bad boys. As we said, the offensive game plan sucked, but I'm going to read these to you guys. Bear with me for a second. I did this 3 weeks ago, and then also a couple days ago. I changed them a little bit, but these are my 5 takeaways, right? Hits to the max. Did Michigan get hits to the max on Max Duggan? No, they did not. Faster start. No, they did not. They were down 21-3, although they were starting fast. They didn't get done fast. So 0 for 2. Stop the run. More pass. I mean, do we have the stats for the 2 teams at all? Let's just throw those up there while I'm reading those. Michigan did not stop the run, and as such, TCU was able to pass more of the ball. Michigan had to blitz more as TCU rushes for 263 damn yards on Michigan. Absolutely unforgivable. Push Michigan's defense around all day long. Don't let TCU win the 50-50 deep balls. Whatever. They didn't really have many opportunities to do that, so that's a push. Score 30 points. They did, but I didn't expect the defense to give up 51. So my takeaways, again, hits the max, faster start, stop the run, more pass. Don't let TCU win 50-50 deep balls, score 30 points. Michigan really just did one of those. They won. One was a push, and then there were 3 that they absolutely failed on. And that's what it is, folks. Michigan loses to TCU 51-45. The offensive game plan today, it absolutely sucked. It did. Sucked is not a word I use lightly, but it absolutely sucked. They went away from their identity. They were pulling out plays that had absolutely no business running against a team like TCU, the old triple reverse, whatever the hell. I just can't comprehend what that first one was on 4th down. Why you run that play there? Why not run on 3rd down? It just was terrible. It was awful. Was it be the Philly shove, Philly special? Are you going to pass to J.J. McCarthy? Any way you sliced it, it was going to fail. You didn't go to Diamond Edwards. You didn't have Diamond Edwards kind of take over. The offensive line didn't get a push, and you just turned into Ohio State. You turned into a soft team on offense that just had to pass the ball and was in 3rd and long situations whenever they didn't complete a pass on 1st or 2nd down. Guys, if you're liking the show today, and if you like what we put out over the last 3-4 years, but certainly in this run up to the College Football Playoff Semifinal against TCU. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as we come up on 26,000 subscribers. It is the Michigan Football Report from Chat Sports, youtube.com/Michigan TV. The defense in this game lost the momentum. In the 3rd quarter into the 4th quarter, and then late in the 4th quarter, Michigan had the opportunity to they cut it to a 2-score game from, it was 1 point, 41-22, I think it was at one point, Jack. Then Michigan scores 2 straight touchdowns, cuts it to with TCU in there in the middle of the time, gives them a touchdown. Then it's 48-38. And then TCU gets the ball down, and they get a field goal again. And they, multiple times, there's a long run from the running back, the backup. There's a long pass in the drag route on 3rd down from their star wide receiver, Quentin Johnson. The defense gave up the momentum. These stats are unforgivable. They really are. You give up 225 plus on passing, 225 plus, 263 to be specific, rushing. And despite TCU having 3 turnovers on the game, 2 interceptions by Max Duggan, 1 fumble at the end of the 3rd quarter, despite that, Michigan still gave up 51 points in the game. And as we talk about the running game here, I think that's just one of the biggest points here. Michigan was killed, murdered, destroyed, absolutely schlong-whacked across the face by the TCU running game, and they lost their guy in the first half. He tried to play in the second half. He wasn't there. His stats in particular, they were unforgivable. What's the guy's name? Emari Demercado. There you go. I'm trying to regret. 17 carries for 150 and a touchdown. 69-yard backbreaker. Him and Quentin Johnson had the backbreakers when Michigan was cutting it close, and they just didn't get it done. To give up 260 plus yards against TCU in a Big Ten in a college football playoff game is unforgivable. Jesse Minter, my man, you had a great year, but boy, this sucked. You guys were unprepared for the tempo, and then you started to play desperate. You started to blitz all the time. Mike Sanister off the side, DJ Turner off the side. Every time Michigan blitzed, for the most part, it seemed to lead to a long TCU play or a long TCU touchdown. I don't know who this Predator Kingdom guy is. He's talking. Is he calling me a dumbass Predator Kingdom? Better not be, but that is what it is, 51-45. Let me know your comments. Keep sounding off in the chat. I'm going to get in there, respond. I was going to come into the office and do some preview national title kind of content on Sunday, but I think I'll just sulk in my sorrows from home, film a video from my kitchen maybe, and then I'll respond to all your comments. So keep commenting. Michigan Football Report. Comment section. Let me know your thoughts on this devastating 51-45 loss to TCU. The game was coaching malpractice. It really was. I'll go back to my notes here and just read off a few of the malpractice plays. Just the 2 that everyone will talk about forever. The triple reverse, blah, 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 to Colston Loveland, malpractice. Not putting the ball in J.J. McCarthy or Diamond Edwards' hand when the game was still, not even close to out of hand or anything like that early on, malpractice. Blitzing so much and not sticking to what got you there and allowing TCU to do. TCU did to Michigan what Michigan did to Ohio State, right? Think about that for a second. As we got into the 3rd quarter, into the 4th quarter, I thought this is what it was like to be Ohio State the last 2 years. Absolutely just a beatdown, right? They just countered everything with a long touchdown, and then Michigan sold out. They sold out with the blitz, and TCU burned them over and over. It's very sad. I'm bummed. I'm sickened. I'm gonna go to the national title game and see Ohio State's up 14-7 against Georgia now as we're filming this. Gosh, Jack, if that's what it is. Woo! From the outside perspective, it's probably a good game. It's back and forth. The College Football Playoff really always puts together at least one stinker, if not two. And Michigan and TCU put together an instant classic, at least for TCU and maybe all of college football. And right now it looks like Georgia and Ohio State will be a decent game, with Ohio State being up by a touchdown as we are filming this here at 9:09 Eastern on a Saturday. It's New Year's Eve in under 3 hours. Keep commenting, though. Let me know your thoughts on this game. I'll review. Let's go through them one more time, Jack. It's just I want to kind of review, and then we'll end asking people to subscribe to the channel. Michigan's failures in the first half, and offense in the first half, defense in the second half. That was my biggest failure, my biggest takeaway, my biggest instant reaction of the day. Offensive game plan sucked. It really did. It sucked when they were in a close game or like in the first half, maybe I should say. There were some cool plays. There were some nice plays. There was a rallying cry, and you felt like, wow, they scored on 4 or 5 possessions in the third quarter into the fourth, touchdowns. And one of those they scored a touchdown, but it was the other team, pick 6. But over in general, this was not a Michigan offensive game plan. Number 3, the defense lost the momentum. Michigan Michigan got all kinds of momentum back in the third quarter and the fourth quarter, and both times I thought Michigan's about to win this game. What happens? The defense gives up long touchdown plays to TCU running and passing, and it is what it is from there. And then the TCU running game, 265 yards rushing, absolutely unforgivable by Michigan. 150 to their backup, Emari Demercado. Kendra Miller, the starter, right? 8 carries, 57 yards. Right, he barely played after got hurt early on in the first half. Max Duggan, 57 yards. His own, and he had 2 touchdowns. But as a team, 263 yards rushing for TCU and 3 rushing touchdowns. So Ohio State intercepts the pass. They're up 7 on Georgia, and they have the ball at the 30-yard line. If Ohio State plays TCU, wins the national title, whoa. Okay, and coaching malpractice. It is coaching malpractice that Michigan ran those plays inside the 2-yard line. Had early on, at one point in the third quarter, they had 4 possessions inside the 5. 1 turnover, 1 loss of downs, went for 4th down. Fumble by Khalil Mullings. Terrible triple reverse to Colson Loveland. Field goal, and then you finally got your touchdown. Absolutely coaching malpractice. This Michigan team was right there. They had the national title at their fingertips, and they absolutely blew it. Guys, if you are enjoying the show, make sure you subscribe. It's the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, James Yoder. We're going to keep it rolling, though. We are not going to turn our backs on this program, though. We'll keep content rolling all off-season long. It just pains me to say off-season because Michigan should have won that game. And, hell, if they had came back and won the game down 18 points in the first half, man, what a story that would have been. But as such, they came up 6 points short.